Welcome to another episode of this Political Catharsis Corner. Get ready, because on January 7th, 2026, Mexican magical realism no longer wants to be just literature, and it has become our daily news diet. We have it all: a golden exile, a dictator in Manhattan, and of course the final blow to our democracy with the famous electoral reform. Let's take it step by step, because cynicism doesn't cook itself. Let's get to it to start, since the New York show continues with Maduro on the stand, and the Mexican government keeps defending criminals. It doesn't matter if they're from their own country or another. It's all the same. What they do is defend the scum. Let's start with the international news. It turns out that, as we already know, Nicolas Maduro, the circus clown dressed as a dictator, is now comfortably settled in a New York cell, wearing his luxurious orange pajamas. Yes, after the Americans pulled a 1-2-3 for Nico and his friends. Last week, Chavez's heir already had his first hearing before the judge. And look, the script is Oscar-worthy for Maduro. With that "it wasn't me" face, he pleaded not guilty. No, well, he's just an innocent dove who was just passing by, who only cared for the people and worried about keeping them in paradise. Well, technically that's true. He had them almost naked and without food. What's closer to paradise than that? Anyway, by the way, just as a fun fact, did you know that Maduro said he earned $120 a month as president of Venezuela? And it turns out that the Swiss government just froze $10 billion of his assets? How much do you think Jumento Macuspano has if he says he's lived 20 years with just 200 pesos? I'll just leave that there for you, just so those so-called leftist corrupt leaders can think about it. Anyway. Meanwhile, in our beloved and increasingly battered Mexico City, the Servientific Scheinbaum pulled out the manual from the 70s, and today, at the morning press conference, she gave us the sovereignty speech once again. Let's see, dear cultured and knowledgeable audience, let's not forget this while the world watches a dictator who crushed his own people fall. Here we stand for non-intervention, says the lady with the ponytail. That it's an attack on sovereignty. Wow. What a shame that same sovereignty isn't used to keep Uncle Sam from dictating our tariff policy. Every time Trump wakes up in a bad mood, it's the ostrich diplomacy. We bury our heads in the sand about the reality of a captured dictator, but we raise our voices so no one notices that the boss from the north has us firmly in his grip. From the United States-Mexico-Canada agreement, we have the crystal exile. It turns out that Gertz Manero is the new Lord London. If you think what happened in Venezuela is a joke, just wait for the Impunity Award of the Year. Remember Alejandro Gertz Manero? Yes, that man who used the Attorney General's office as his personal law firm for years. Well, now he has a new job. Chachas confirmed today he's being sent as ambassador to the United Kingdom. Such elegance. From London, not France. It's the most shameless golden retirement in recent history. Ongoing investigations, accountability for the inefficiency of the FGR, and for grabbing benefits for his relatives just because he could. Not at all. Let's just send him to have tea with King Charles III. It's the classic technique of the regime. If someone gets in your way or has already burned too many bridges, send them far away, where the air is colder and criticism can't reach them. That way, Ernestina Godoy can keep cleaning house while the great prosecutor enjoys the London fog at the taxpayer's expense. Cheers. That's why, Don Alejandro, you deserve that and more, damn it. And to top it all off, we have the electoral reform. Or in other words, the chronicle of a foretold hegemony. Now, make yourselves comfortable, because we're getting to the main course. The real poison of this session, the 2026 electoral reform. Today, the Permanent Commission gave the green light, and let me tell you, what's coming isn't a reform, it's a real autopsy, under the slogan of Republican austerity. That wild card that's used to justify everything from not buying toilet paper in the offices to dismantling democracy. The ruling party is targeting the remaining Instituto Nacional electoral and party system. They say they're going to eliminate the proportional representation seats because they cost too much and nobody votes for them. It sounds logical, fair, and even nice, right? Well, don't be fooled. This is the master move to wipe any minority off the map in a country where the ruling party has the full force of social programs behind it. Eliminating proportional representation means that if you're not from the Red Party, you simply don't exist. It's a return to the 1970s system where a single party sat in Congress and the others were just decoration. If you get 10 or 15% of the national vote but don't win districts due to the ruling party's mobilization, you're left out. If you don't vote for the regime, your voice as a citizen is meaningless. That's not saving. That's a blatant assault on plurality. And this is where the Instituto Nacional Electoral goes from being a referee to employee of the month. The cherry on top, total centralization. They want to get rid of the Organismos Públicos Locales Electorales, the local institutes, so that everything goes through the Instituto Nacional Electoral, but an Instituto Nacional Electoral that they now want to be elected by popular vote? Imagine the scenario. Judges elected by vote, and we already know who will impose them. Electoral magistrates elected by vote, and Instituto Nacional Electoral Councilors elected by vote. Who do you think is going to win those elections, the average citizen? Those favored by the ruling party will win, not the average citizen. Those who serve the whole pack of mobsters in power, those who put a price on their dignity, those who would rather see this country sink just to have scraps of power and money. We are seeing the rise of a hegemonic authoritarian regime with a democratic facade, a perfect dictatorship, 2.0 but with better Instagram filters and live streams. By centralizing everything, the government makes sure there's not even a crack for a different opinion to slip through. It's total control. The person counting votes also distributes food packages and makes the laws. How convenient, and sorry, but that's exactly how the dictatorial regime was consolidated in Venezuela. I insist, everyone who has been saying this since 2018 time is proving us right. We never exaggerated, we never lied, the reality is right there. That's what that idiot Lopez Obrador wanted, and that's what we have now. The big question is, where are we going? What we're seeing today, January 7th, are not isolated events. It's a puzzle that's coming together right before our eyes. On the outside, we act all sovereign with the Maduro case to throw red meat to the party's most radical base. Meanwhile, in private, we pray that Trump doesn't raise our tariffs. We remove inconvenient figures like Gertz Manero and give them ambassadorships so they stay quiet. At the base, we change the rules of democracy to make sure that in 2027 and 2030, there won't be any easy competition, don't you think? The ruling party doesn't want an efficient democracy. It wants a one-party regime, where the opposition is just a ghost and minorities are a bad memory. They want the only voice to be heard to be the one from the presidential pulpit, controlled at will from the middle of nowhere in Palenque. So there you have it, hidden and knowledgeable audience. While you're coming back from vacation and figuring out how to pay for the January expenses, the system is shielding itself so you'll never have to worry about choosing someone different again. Because at the rate we're going, by the time the 2027 midterm elections come around, voting will just be an administrative formality to confirm what has already been decided in the palace. It's the final nail in the coffin of democracy. But anyway, that's just my not-so-humble opinion. And you know that here, you have the final word, while you still can say it. Remember, telling the truth is the greatest rebellion. See you Friday.
Remember that you can make your donations via PayPal. You can find the information in the comments section. Thanks to you, this channel stays active. It's very important to subscribe, like, and press the bell to receive notifications whenever there's new content.
Thank you.